Welcome to the next episode of Marriage, Mess, and Margaritas. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Jessica.
And I'm Alicia. And yes, we're actually drinking margaritas while recording this. Because how else would you talk about life, marriage, and chaos?
This podcast is our happy hour therapy. Just 3 women, 3 different stories, and a whole lot of real talk. No filters, no perfect Pinterest mom energy, just the mess.
We're all married, most days happily. And between the laundry piles, carpool lines, and late night what even is life convos, we realized we can't be the only ones needing a space like this.
So welcome. Whether you're married, single, mom and heart, or just here for the margs, we're glad you're listening.
Each week, we'll pour a drink and dive into real conversations. Relationships, mental health, mom fails, friendship, body image, intimacy, you name it.
And don't worry, there'll be plenty of laughs, oversharing, and probably a few spicy takes.
We'll also share listener stories, answer your questions, and maybe cry into our drinks once or twice. But it's all love here.
So grab a margarita, settle in, and let's kick off this beautifully messy ride together.
Welcome to Marriage, Mess, and Margaritas.
Let the chaos begin.
Welcome back to another week of Marriage, Mess, and Margaritas. Today, we're talking about what happens when one of you is always the fun one, and the other's stuck being the enforcer. Sound familiar?
Totally. Been there, still there.
So today, we're diving into how to parent as a team, even when your styles are total opposites.
Spoiler alert, it's not about being the same. It's about not making each other look like the bad guy.
Exactly. And today we're sipping on a lime and coconut margarita because, well, parenting is not always a beach. But with this in hand, we can at least pretend we're there. Okay, so sip of the week, parenting edition. For me, my kids will ask for cereal sometimes for dinner, even though they've had cereal for breakfast. And I feel like they should have real food for dinner, like, protein and a carb and ideally
I love
a
cereal.
vegetable. Oh my God, I love cereal too, but I just...
Fruit Loops for dinner.
And I do sometimes, but I feel guilty to give my kids Fruit Loops for dinner, like especially if they've had Fruit Loops for breakfast too.
Right.
So Taylor doesn't really care. So he's quick to just be like, okay, you can have cereal. And so then it makes me look like the bad guy because I'm sitting here going, no, like they need real food for dinner because they had cereal for breakfast. They probably didn't eat at lunch much because school lunch is not the greatest. And now they're going to have more sugar for dinner. So it makes me feel like the bad guy.
Oh. What about for you guys?
Have you ever had like a win or a fail? One parent's the bad guy, one's the good guy?
A parenting fail that was a win, in my definition, was when the kids were really young and it was raining and and I let them play out in the rain for the first time and they loved it, and it was so much fun watching them jump in the puddles and everything. So they go to school the next day and they say, and for fun, Mom let us play outside in the rain. And for dinner, she let us drink water. And I was so embarrassed because the teacher even called me out on it. It was like, oh, they like drinking water and playing in the rain? And I was like, yeah, it was so much fun. And But I think I let them get ice in their water or something. It was something random. But yeah, we played in the rain and they do drink water for dinner. It was terrible. I was so embarrassed.
Oh. Do you think you're the strict or easy parent? Or laid back parent? I guess we shouldn't say easy parent. I'm
definitely the strict parent, but they make me tired and then they get their way.
What about for you guys?
I'm definitely the more strict one. Taylor's much more, I guess, the fun one.
Oh yeah, and you've said that.
Yeah, for sure. And anytime that he does get strict, it's like the bottom falls out and everyone's crying. And his definition of strict is like maybe a stern voice. So, but yeah, no, he's definitely still the fun one.
I think for us, I've actually asked mine
and they said it depends on the situation. Like, if it's to do something or go out, they would pick a parent versus the other. If it's about grades, they say I'm more strict.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
If it's about going out, they say dad's more easygoing of, okay, sounds good. And they say mom's more of a, who are you going with? What time are you going to be home? Like, I want to know the details.
Yeah.
So I think Nick and I share. I think going back to that original thing of, like, the cereal, I think there's been times where, maybe because my kids are older, your kids haven't had that, they play you guys together. Like, have you had that moment where they play you against each other?
Oh, absolutely. Like, they won't even come to ask me if they can have cereal for dinner because they know that my answer is going to be no. But they'll go to Taylor, and he'll know that I'm going to say no.
Right.
And so it's almost like he teeters on like,
oh no. Our
Mom's
son
gonna
did
say.
this. He asked if he could go to a friend's house, and they live just in another neighborhood next door to us. And he texted me. I was at work, couldn't respond. And so he went to his dad, asked his dad. His dad said no. Then I finally saw the text message. Did not know that this had happened. I think I told you that story. Did not know this had happened. And I'm like, okay, as long as, let me know what time you're going to be there, everything, I'll talk to dad and let him know. Because I think at that point, my husband was in a meeting or something, so I couldn't talk to him right at that moment. So he was like, perfect, great. Went to the friend's house.
Oh, no.
It must have been like from school because he went straight from school. And then Nick calls me. He's like, where's your son? And I was like, what are you talking about? I forgot to tell you. He's at the friend's house. He had asked me about it. I told him yes. He was like, I told him no. He was like, well, he never told me that he had already spoken to you and that you had said no. So he played us together, was at his friend's house having the best time. And my husband was like, I'm going to go over there and pick him up. I was like, you can't do that. That's awful. We're not going to do that. But yeah, he played us against each other. That's the only one and only time he's done that. But there's been other times where it's been like you said, I think they know which parent to ask.
Yes.
To get the response that they want.
And I think because we have had like little moments where they've kind of done that. Like, can I have a piece of candy after dinner? And I've said no, but then they go ask Taylor and Taylor says yes. And it's like, but you already asked me, and I said no. Like, we've had those moments several times to where, like, now, usually, it's like, well, have you asked Dad?
Yes.
What did Dad say?
Yes.
What did Mom say?
Right.
And it's almost like you can see the defeat on their face.
Yes.
Like, oh,
yes.
okay.
Oh, yeah. We've had to do that because, like, I did not say yes to go above Nick. It was, I had no idea.
Yeah.
But the way that it comes off to your spouse is you just disrespected me in front of our child by saying yes when I told him no, but I had no idea.
Yeah.
So we've had to do the same thing. Like, did you already ask Mom or Dad? Did they say no? Then a no.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we've had the same thing.
Do you ever feel like you cave to saying yes when really you want to say no just to, like,
all the time,
keep the peace? Like, I'll cave to give cereal for dinner because it's like it's almost now at the point of, like, it's not worth arguing about. So
Yes,
I just
I
cave and
do.
say yes.
yes.
I do the same
Just
thing.
to keep the peace.
That's where I say they make me tired, and I'm just like, ugh, yes, just do it. Leave me alone.
Do you feel like Matt ever is an enforcer, or do they look at him as a fun parent?
I think they look at him as a fun parent, but they know where the line is. They know not to overstep certain things. They know Dad will let them go out quicker than Mom will. If Dad's not home and Mom is the only person that they can ask, they make sure that the dishes are done, their beds are made, the floor is swept, and then they're like, Mom, can I go? And I'm like, the house looks good. I guess you can go.
I didn't know you do that.
Yeah, because I'm like, go out. There are dishes that need to be done. What do you mean go out? There's laundry, so I always come up with like a reason why they can't go out, as opposed to just saying, I don't want you to go out because I miss you, I love you, stay here.
Right.
I'm just like, there are things that need to be done. Again, like last week when we talked about
I was going to say acts
of service. I'm like,
Yeah.
do this for me, and then maybe I'll be in a better mood to let you out. So the kids they got wise to my ways and just cleaned up, and then we're talking about everything's done. Can I go?
That's pretty good, though.
Yeah. But you do. Don't you guys remember when you were kids, you knew what to say to your parents and how to say and when to say. You weren't going to
Oh, yeah.
say it at a time that you knew that it was not a good time.
Yeah.
So you learn.
Yeah, like when your friends say, like, ask your mom if you can go out, and it's like, oh, hold up, my mom's not in a good
No,
mood right
not
now.
right
I'm
now.
not going to ask.
We're not going to ask right now.
Yeah, we know better.
Yes. So yeah, they do too.
Okay, so let's change it a little bit. I feel like every couple has moments where they realize that they're not really on the same page when it comes to like disciplining and calling the shots. So what are some times where you have had to have that conversation? So like you mentioned with Nick saying no and you had said yes.
Right.
So after that situation happened, how did you handle that with your son as far as making sure that it didn't repeat again?
We had to talk to him because we both took it as something serious of, you're not going to put us against each other. Because that's what he did. Obviously, Nick's
Did he know that he did it? Like,
I mean,
did he feel,
I'm
I guess,
sure.
like guilty that he did it?
He did afterwards, but I don't, he's a child, so he didn't realize that could be a problem in a marriage because it looks like you undermined your spouse and you disrespected them and said, sure, go on, when I had no idea of the conversation they had. And he was old enough to know better to say, hey, Dad, just so you know, Mom said yes. Can you guys talk about that? Instead of being like, I'm just going to go. And I would never have done that as a child, to be like, oh, I'm just going to go. One parent said yes and one said no. I'm going to... I mean, he is more gutsy, but he's the middle child, so he is that. But yes, so he was grounded. We talked to him about it. He did learn it has not happened again. And we talked to the other two about that, because you can't, even if you don't mean to, because I don't think he meant to do that and put us up against each other. You can't, if one parent says no, it's no.
That's the answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've had to, like you said, ask each other, hey, did you ask Mom? Did you ask Dad? What did they say? And then talk about it. And learning to talk about it not in front of them. Just walking away and talking about it.
It's funny how you say, did you ask your mom? Did you ask your dad? And in our house, it's go ask your mom, go ask your dad, because nobody wants to take responsibility. But for me, the answer is always going to be no. So they know this.
So your answer is always no.
Yeah, you can never go out. You can never have fun. You just got to stay home.
Clean the dishes.
Yeah, clean the dishes. Yeah, but no, seriously, I'm like, no, I don't want them to go out. You know, my anxiety is a little bit elevated. So I'm like, no,
you
don't
like
go
having
out.
them home with you.
Yeah, and then I don't even want their friends to come over. So I'm just like, no, they can't come over.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
See, I would rather my kids bring their friends here, because then I know, oh, they're safe. They're at home. They're safe.
Yeah. Yeah, but then you got to entertain and make sure your house is clean, and that's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is work.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like there's ever anything that even now, like y'all still struggle on agreeing on? Like for us, one of the big disagreements that I don't know if we ever like got on the same page was like YouTube. So when the kids were younger, even YouTube Kids, like, there's been all those things on social media about like breakthrough cartoons and things like that. And so usually when I like read something about how horrible it is, I've gone in like on all the devices and deleted it. And so then usually it's like this huge meltdown from the kids, which granted I probably could have handled it better by like talking to them first and then deleting it all versus deleting it and then talking to them about it all. But I mean, for the most part, they're good kids, and so I don't think they ever like really saw those videos, but I was just so scared they were going to seep through. And so it was like I talked to Taylor about how it bothered me and how I didn't like it. And so it would stay gone for like a week or two, and then I would go to work or I'd be busy doing something else, and the kids would talk to him and convince him to re-download it. And so then it gets re-downloaded again, and he's like, it's just YouTube. I watch YouTube all the time. It's not that bad. And I'm like, but there's stuff out, so it's like this constant back and forth. I think that's one thing, even now, like I don't fully agree with watching YouTube, but for kids, but I think that we still struggle with agreeing and being on the same page when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think we do, and I think that's part of being male and female, that we're just not going to agree on certain things. There's been certain times where I've just had to just keep my mouth quiet and just let it be. If Nick's leading them and telling them a certain way, even though I don't agree with it, I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to let this go.
Do you ever struggle though with
I struggle with that.
Because I think I would agree. I've had moments where like Like the YouTube, like it's just better to just
Let it go.
try to. I
Yes.
put age restrictions on it. That's the best I can do. But I know at the end of the day, like he's gonna re-download it on their stuff
Yeah.
because to him, he grew up on it. It's not bad.
Right.
So
No, I do struggle with it, but I just had to learn to let it go and just trust that it's going to be okay, and it is hard.
yeah. Do you feel like you and Matt ever have those moments of like disagreeing on something that the kids can have or do?
I think curfew was a disagreement, I guess, for us, where I'm just like, they say, Mom, when do I need to be home? I say, right now. And
3 hours ago?
Yeah, like, who told you to leave the house? But yeah, Matt's like, okay, well, you can come home at 10 o'clock. And as they got older, it can be 11 o'clock. All right, you can spend the night out. And I'm just like, you need to be home right now. So, I just have unrealistic expectations. So, he kind of overrules my unrealistic expectations, and they agree on what an appropriate bedtime is or curfew is, things like that.
Do you ever feel like he was over the top, like the times where he would cave and be like, oh, yeah, you can just spend the night, like be home at 11, be home at 12, I'll just stay the night. Do you feel like that ever bothered you, that he would make that call?
No, it never bothered me. Well, I guess no. Let me take that back. Probably with the first kid, I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean they can stay out past 10 p.m.? And then the next kid came along, and it happened again. And so by the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth on the way, then I'm just over it.
Right.
Just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have a harder time when it's something that they like ask for or need, because I'm like, oh, they're only going to be babies or kids for so long that I'm like, I just want to be like, sure, you can have it. Sure, you want that extra cupcake? Sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
Because when they're our age, they cannot have 2 cupcakes. So now I'm like, sure, you want another one? And Nick's like, no, you have 1. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, just 1, guys.
Yeah.
See, and I think that's where, like, I'm opposite of that. I'm like, oh no, you just get 1 cupcake. I can have 2, but you can just have 1. Because you're a kid. You're growing. You just get 1.
But that's when they can eat 2. They can eat that and not gain weight. We cannot eat 2 cupcakes.
That's right.
So that's why I'm like, let them enjoy it at this time. And Nick's
Well,
like,
they
no,
can.
they can save it for tomorrow. And I'm just like, let them just be kids. Let them enjoy it. Let them get messy. Let them be kids. And he's like, no, they're fine. So I've had to just like calm down and be like, okay, I'm going to let him do this.
Do you ever feel like you have formed any type of like resentment towards your husbands because they got to be the fun ones on certain things? Like there were moments where you wished that you were the fun ones so that they would want to be with you?
No, I don't
No.
think so. I think like because our kids have said like, you're the fun one for this, and we know not to come to you for this, and we know like if it's grades, we're going to go to Dad. So I think it's like, if they want grades, they go to Dad. If they want to go out somewhere, they're going to come to me because they know I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to ask more details. Where Nick is more quick to say no and be like, you don't have to go out. You went out yesterday. Why do you have to go out again?
Yeah.
So I think it just evens out. So I don't think I've ever had resentment. I don't think he's had resentment. I think he wishes he was more of a daddy's girl, and she has just not gotten to that.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes he struggles with that, but I think we're so close, and since she is my only girl, it's just like, no, I just want her.
Yeah. Well, and I think like I feel that way about my girls. So I don't know if I would necessarily say it was resentment, but yeah, I guess it was jealousy. So like, the kids were little babies. I always put them to bed. Like that was just our moment. Like me getting to spend that time with them, rocking them, loving on them, and putting them to bed. Well, then as they got older, especially when the second one came along, then me and Taylor, we would swap. And we still swap.
Sure.
So, one gets the other every
Right.
other night. But I think, like, I guess when they were little, I would always sing to them, like, these little songs. It was
Right.
always, like, one of the same songs. Well, then he got to where he would start playing music on his phone
Oh.
to put on to bed. Well, so then when the other one learned about that, too, then it was almost like that's all they wanted.
They
was
wanted
him.
that, yeah.
So then they never wanted me. And like, y'all, that I still struggle with that those days that like, they're like, no, I don't, I just want daddy. I want daddy. No, I want daddy. No, I get daddy. And I'm like, oh, but what about
Aw.
mommy? So it has gotten a lot better. I think as they've gotten older, and now my oldest one, she really likes me to put her to bed because I snuggle her and rub her
Right.
back. Where like when Taylor puts her to bed, he just lays there and holds the phone. So, I mean, I think things have changed through the years, but there was like probably a year or two where all they wanted was Taylor. And
It will change. Like, I feel like, at least for my kids, it was like a constant. When they were little, they were all mama's kids. My second boy, I could not even leave to go to the grocery store, and he would be in tears with Nick because he did not want me to leave him. His own dad. And he was crying, and it was a terrible, like, it was awful when I had to go to the grocery store. I was like, I can't take you everywhere.
So do you think that ever made Nick feel jealous?
Yes,
or-
I don't know,
because-
jealous,
or-
but I think, like, upset of, hey, I'm your dad, bud. Why don't you want
Yeah.
to stay with me? I'm sure he felt a certain way. But then I've also seen, like, the change. Like, even my oldest is all about me when they were little, but then they went through a stage where they were, like, superheroes, and that was Nick's way to, like, bond with them about superheroes because they love superheroes together. So that was their thing together, and I was able to see that change. And now even in my middle boy, he's all about football and the players and all the stuff. And he'll talk to me about it. But, like, he came home today, and he was like, hey, Dad, did you hear about this play? And I was like, what? That's your thing with me. We talk about players.
That's funny.
And I was like, why are you talking to Dad about it? You and me have been talking about it since last year. So it keeps going. It changes
Yeah.
where they, like, one day they pick, one day it's like all about Dad, and then other times it's all about me. It just changes.
Well, and I would agree. Yes, it does change, but I think they're there for a little bit. And I mean, I still struggle at times when they just want him. And yeah, what about me?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure that's how he felt. Nick felt like that at times too with them.
Yeah. Okay, so obviously we all parent different. We've all had different experiences with our husbands and our kids, and being the good cop and being the bad cop, and good parent, bad parent. What do you feel like are some things that y'all have done that has helped?
I think for us communicating together and seeing like I think just discipline, how everyone disciplines differently. And then we have boys and girls. So you only have girls.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you discipline the boys and the girls different?
100%.
See, I feel like we do too. And is that wrong?
Probably.
You think it is?
But I think a lot of parents do it differently, because I would say, like, even my parents discipline differently.
Really? Because you had a brother.
Yeah.
So you see that it was different too.
Mm-hmm. And my brothers will say
But you
that
were
they
also the
much-
baby.
Yeah, that's true. But
And-
they'll
yeah.
say that they were much more strict on them than they were me.
Right.
And I feel like Taylor's parents were probably more strict on the boys than they were with their sister.
I think it's
Really? 'Cause she was the
culturally.
oldest.
I think culturally it makes a difference. You know, gender makes a difference. Birth order makes a difference because we're stricter on the girls. We were stricter on the girls than we were on the boys.
Even you're older too.
Stricter on the girl than the boy. Yeah,
And how many months apart are they?
they're all 16 months apart.
Yeah, so they're close.
Yeah.
And you were still more strict with her.
Mhm.
What about curfews and stuff? Did they have the same curfews?
Yeah, they had about the same curfews.
Okay.
Because curfews came as they got older, and that's when my husband got looser with, you know, the reins on
times.
all the kids. But, you know, growing up, you know, everything, I was definitely stricter on the girls because, you know, everybody can get pregnant, but the girl's going to come home with that baby.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, so I think things like that we've had to communicate and learn to discipline them. Plus, you know your child.
Yeah.
I know my daughter is not going to react to us disciplining her by raising her voices. She's not going to respond to that. She's also not going to respond if we had ever spanked her because she's just not that kind of kid. She needs to just talk nicely to her and maybe take something away. But she's not going to respond positively if we spanked her or if we raised her voice. She'd start crying or she'd be real stubborn and be mad at us if we spanked her.
Yeah.
So do you feel like when it came to discipline, to get on that same page so that one's not the good parent and one's not the
Right.
bad parent? Do
Yeah,
you think
'cause
to
you don't
get
want
there,
that.
did y'all have to kind of come together and talk about your plans as far as how discipline's going to look in your family?
Yeah, I think we still do. I think me and Nick have conversations when he's trying to discipline her and he's raising his voice. and she does not respond well. Either she's going to raise her voice as well, and then it's just escalated in the situation.
Yeah.
Or she's just going to shut down and not talk, but when she's not talking, she's slamming a door, pushing in a chair, and being loud to do it. And so I've had to talk to him. You can't talk to her like you would talk to the boys, because she's much more sensitive. But yeah, it's been different. And he's probably had to talk to me of, hey, the boys need this more, instead of just that.
Yeah. I would say for me and Taylor, one of our biggest things is trying to not correct each other in front of the other.
Yes, correct.
And I think we've always struggled with that as far as, like, in those instances, if, you know, he's disciplining one way and I would discipline another way, correcting how he's doing it in that moment.
Yeah, you can't do it in there, yeah.
Yes. So I think, like, that's one of the big things that we've had to kind of come together on. And I've just kind of had to bite my tongue if I don't agree with the way that he's doing it. And he kind of keeps his mouth shut if he doesn't agree with the way that I'm doing it. And then it's kind of, we talk about it together. Like,
in closed doors,
yeah, you were a little strict this time. Why did you jump to that extreme? You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
So I think just trying to not, that undermining each other in front of the kids, it definitely doesn't set a good
No, it doesn't.
image for them.
You know, when my kids were younger, I don't know if I did it on purpose or didn't do it on purpose, but I would always say, wait till your father finds out. I'm going to tell your father. And then it was like, ooh, what if dad finds out? And it was like, I don't know, but he's finding out. So,
but I think we all do that.
I don't know, but, you know, I feel like I shouldn't have done that because, you know, I did the same thing with the police. Like, if you don't do this, I'm calling the police. And then they were scared of the police instead of making the police be their friends to save them.
Alicia!
Yes, I know. I had to stop saying that, too.
Now, have you ever told your girls, I'm going to tell dad, or wait till I tell your dad, or...
You know, I don't think I have. I do kind of remember a time, though, with my oldest. And I can't, it's been a while. Something happened, and she, like, after we talked about it, she immediately started crying, and I remember her saying, don't tell Daddy.
Yeah.
And we had to have that talk of, like, but I am going to tell Daddy.
Correct,
because we're married, and he's your dad, and he needs to know.
Right.
But no, I don't think I've ever, but I've heard of that. I've heard parents say that, like, wait until I tell your daddy. Wait till your daddy gets home. I've definitely heard parents say that, but no, I don't think that
I think I did more when they were little. I don't do that now. I think my kids just know we're going to talk about it together.
Yeah.
I think they just know that. But I've never used the police. I can't say I've done that one.
Yeah, and then I realized it was wrong when we pulled up next to a police guy.
And they're just shaking.
And they're like screaming and crying, don't take me. And I was just like, what in the world is going on? And I said, oh, now I remember. Yeah.
They're terrified of them.
Yeah, so we actually, seriously, it's a true story, but we actually went to Shop with the Cop. Shop with the Cop. It was a program for... around Christmas time, you and your, like, as a family, you and your kid or children went shopping, like at Walmart with a cop, shop with a cop. And so, you know, like, the police officer would help you, like, pick out a toy with you and spend time with you in Walmart so you can go for around Christmas time.
Oh, I never knew.
Yeah, I've never heard of that either.
And your kids are terrified?
Well, before then, but, you know, that kind of eased it because now all of a sudden...
I'm sure that helped a lot.
Yeah, cops are giving me presents
they're nice.
and bicycles and stuff like that. But yeah, seriously.
Poor kids.
I know it. I know.
All right, we hadn't done a Would You Rather in a while.
I like
so
these.
Let's play a little. Would you rather have a toddler who never naps or a tween with a smart mouth?
Toddler that never naps.
Really?
I've had both.
I think I would rather have a toddler that never naps too.
Yeah, because those teens talk back and
I think I was going to pick the tween.
I was going to say, well, aren't you like in the middle of the tween talking back?
They talk back, they don't listen. They're sarcastic.
She's about to get these teens upstairs.
I know it.
So a tween with a smart mouth or a toddler that never naps?
What would you prefer?
Tween. I would still pick the tween because I do need my sleep. I think if I was not sleeping, I would be more anxious. I'd get depressed. I don't think I could do it.
Oh, it is hard. I would say my second one, she did not nap near as good as my first.
But
So,
not
yeah,
napping isn't the same as always crying. If they're
Well,
not
that's true.
napping,
That's true.
That's
you know, they
true.
can be awake and alert, playing, eating, watching TV, but, you know, talking back with an attitude and
But a toddler, you have to watch them all the time. You can't leave them because they're putting things in their mouth and all that.
Yeah, but what if you have like one of those little playpens? Put them in a playpen with some
Yeah.
toys and...
yeah, they can stay awake and play quietly.
I still want to sleep. I want to be able to sleep if they're awake. I'd be losing my mind. The tween, you can at least control.
Okay, so for me, I would choose the toddler. That never
You'd
naps
rather
too.
not sleep.
I would rather. Well, and I think back to like when I worked night shift. I had toddlers when I worked night shift, and I would doze off. But yeah, I would put them in a safe place with safe toys, and
I guess my kids napped. They slept and napped so well, always. I was never those moms that you hear about that were up all night and up over 2. I was never
like
that.
my second
Me
one.
either.
She's the reason we didn't have a third.
And both of you like sleep just as much as me, so I can't imagine how you guys could do that.
It was a hard life.
It was harder for the kids than it was for me because I napped.
Yeah, but then I guess I'm thinking of a toddler up all the time. I'm thinking that they're crying.
Yeah, but they don't.
No, they don't. No, and my youngest, she didn't cry all the time. Like literally,
But you have to
I think-
entertain them.
Mm.
but not continuously. When I worked night shift, she would play quietly, and I would
Maybe.
doze on the couch.
There's a great debate on, you know, screen time or no screen time, but I'm all about screen time.
All right, what's the next one?
All right. Would you rather always be the fun parent and never be taken seriously, or always be the strict parent and never be liked?
Never be liked? That's awful.
Those are not really
Those are so extreme.
opposites.
I think everybody wants to be liked.
Yeah.
I'm okay with always being the strict parent and not being...
Yeah, you can be strict and always be serious and not fun.
Okay, but that's not the question.
Well,
That
everyone's going to
question
pick the
is
other
not a
first
good-
one.
You can't ask that question.
Okay, let's rephrase the question.
Yes.
Okay, we'll rephrase it.
Go ahead.
So, would I rather be the fun parent and be silly all the time, or the strict parent and be serious all the time? Maybe. I would definitely like
Maybe.
to be the serious parent because it's much more easier to have.
It's easier.
It is easier to be the mean parent and to be serious and have quiet time than to always be laughing and hopping around and joking and
I'd be the fun parent.
not me.
What would you pick?
Oh, that one would be a tough one because, yes, I'm not the one that jumps around and is loud. And when Taylor and them get so loud and are all over the room, I'm like, calm down.
Oh, no, I'd rather
So
be
I
the
might
fun
would
parent.
be a strict one
As long as you're liked.
as long as I'm liked.
As long as I'm liked.
Yeah. So it's been a while since we've had a sweet and sour moment of the week. Have y'all had any this past week?
And yep, my youngest has been having trouble in school and just not really meshing well with her teacher. She's still in elementary school. And she's been telling me, Mom, I'd rather do this, I'd rather have this, I'd rather have that. And so I said, girl, go speak to your principal. I said, go speak to your principal and figure out what's, make a plan. So she talks to the principal. The principal calls me tonight. And what does she get? Everything that she asked for.
What'd she ask for?
So she gets a new class teacher
she is getting a new one.
starting
Good.
tomorrow.
Oh,
Good.
yeah.
Because the
With-
first time she talked to the principal, she said there was nothing
Everything
wrong,
was
right?
fine.
Yes. And
Okay,
so, and,
good.
then I emailed and said, check back in with her,
Yeah.
just to make sure everything's going well. So they checked back with her, and I don't know what she told them, but they called me today and they said, well, how would you feel if we changed your class? And I said, that's what she wants. And they said, okay, we'll call you right back with who her new teacher is going to be. Called back and she said, yes, that's exactly who I wanted. And my 3 best friends are in that class.
Oh.
She got me again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she got me last week when she was too sick to go to school. Or too sick to stay at school. And what happened was she didn't have her sneakers for gym. She forgot to put them on, so she got out of school. And this week she got out of her class. Now she's in with her
Wait, so you don't think she was having a hard time? You think it was all a
No,
lie?
I think it was. She was having a hard time, but having
Was it a hard time because her friends weren't there?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think she was having a hard time.
Okay.
But she made the best out of a bad situation. So
Right.
now she's
I'll
with
say
her,
she made the
her
best.
best friends. You know, I would have been like, just get me out of there. I don't care where you put me. Put me back in
Yeah.
first grade. And now she's with her
Put me
best
back in
friends.
first grade.
Yep. Now she's with her best friends. 3 of her best friends.
Oh.
Yep. So
So she
that
knows
was
how to do it then.
She knows how to do it.
Well, good though.
So that's a sour and sweet.
Sour and sweet. Sour on my behalf is sweet for her.
Yes, and I think that'll make your mornings and stuff a lot easier too.
Oh yeah, because she'll be
So maybe we're
excited
struggling
again
now.
to go back to school.
Tomorrow she'll be up early. Bright and early.
Ready to see your best friends.
That's right.
I tricked the school again. What about you?
I think for me, kind of a sweet moment. So last year when the girls would come home from school, they never really had a whole lot of homework, and they still don't have a whole lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know if y'all are like this kind of parent, but it's like the beginning of the year, and I'm like, I'm going to be amazing this year. The kids are going to read 20 minutes every day. We're going to get all this stuff done. It's going to be a great year. And then the school starts, and none of that happens. So this year, I was like, we're reading 20 minutes every day. Y'all come home from school, we're doing homework. Because there would be a couple times last year where they would have homework on a
Right.
random day, and they would forget, and then they would remember at 7:30 at night, and bedtime's at 8, and now we're up till 9 doing work that we
Right.
should have done when you first got home. So that was one of the big things that I put in place this school year. And I think Taylor, we kind of had to talk about it because to him it's a lot when you come home from school to go straight to homework
Right.
when we're still working and trying to do stuff too. So I had like put the screen times on and blocked them. And anyways, the first couple weeks of school, they would come home and they were just so mad because all they
Right.
wanted to do was get on their screens. And I'm like, no, you're going to do your homework. You're going to read 20 minutes and then you can get on your thing. So sweet moment this week. I think this has been the week. They come home, they get their stuff out, they do their schoolwork.
They know, no arguing.
Yes, there's no arguing. It's been great.
But it's been 30 days, so they say 30 days of a habit.
I thought it was just 21 days.
Oh, I thought it was 30 days to make it
I
happen.
thought
Well,
it was
either way, you're
14.
right there.
I thought it was
Oh, 14, maybe.
Oh boy.
We're way off.
Y'all are probably much closer. But anyways, it has been so much better. So yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, what about you?
Ugh, I think mine is probably sour and sweet. My oldest is driving, officially driving himself, and he's driving his younger brother, my other son, to and from school. So it's exciting because, okay, I don't have to be running around like a crazy person in the morning, having to drive them, drop them off, come back. It gives me, 30 minutes, 40 minutes where I'm not doing that. But then the whole time I'm watching on the app, making sure they're getting there. So it's like my anxiety and stress has been through the roof probably this week. And so it's like sour and sweet because I'm enjoying them being big, but then at the same time it's like my days of driving them to school are done.
No. How is your oldest doing now that he's driving himself?
Good. I
and
think
doing
we
all
had
that?
to push him
Yeah.
to get out there and do it, which he's still so cautious. Like he's like, he has to go to practice to the little high school. After school, he walks over there and then walks back to the big campus to get his car because he does not want to drive from the big to the little.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's fine. Whatever you got to do is fine. Which we're just letting him be in control about because it is a lot to get in that traffic to leave.
Yeah.
So he's like, I just feel better doing that. I'm like, that's fine, but it's been good. I've been happy that he's doing that. It's just been a lot.
Yeah.
But it's also
Those are
helped.
big changes too.
I know. Now you know why I'm so stressed this week.
So here's the truth. You're going to have different parenting styles. That's normal. What matters is showing up as a team.
I agree. When kids see you united, it gives them security. Even when you're not perfect, they know their parents have each other's backs.
And if you're the fun one or the bad cop, remember, your roles can shift. Give each other grace and rotate the hat.
Don't say cop. Your kids are scared.
Not anymore. Shop with a cop.
Shop with the cop.
So next week, we're diving into the modern marriage, and y'all, it's going to be good. We're talking about ditching outdated expectations, toxic gender roles, and building a marriage that works for you, not your great-grandparents. So grab your drink and let's redefine what marriage can look like. Until then, cheers to parenting together, even when you're not always on the same page. So here's to love,
Laughter.
And surviving the mess.
One margarita at a time.
Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and find us on social media. Don't forget to share us with your mom friends who could use a little reminder that none of us have it all together.
Marriage, mess and margaritas. Life's a mix and it'll never beat us. Raise your glass, it's time to cheer. The wildest stories, you'll hear them here.